Ever scroll through YouTube and see a feud so wild you just gotta know what started it? Well, today we're diving into one of those, a story that goes way beyond your typical internet beef.
Yeah, we're talking streamer Adin Ross versus, well, let's just say fans of rapper Kendrick Lamar.
And trust me, things get intense.
We've actually got our hands on 2 YouTube videos that break down the whole thing. The online personalities, the threats, even some real-world stuff.
It's crazy how a disagreement over music can escalate so quickly online.
And that's what makes these videos so interesting. They capture that escalation perfectly. It starts with Adin Ross expressing dislike for a Kendrick Lamar song and spirals from there.
I mean, it seems harmless enough, right? Just a streamer listening to some music.
Right, but it's the details that make it interesting. It's a public live stream, and Aiden's talking about what music he does and doesn't want to hear.
Okay, so set the scene for us. What song are we talking about, and what's Aiden's reaction?
The song is Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. In the video, you can see Aiden's friend in the background is enjoying it, but Aiden says he doesn't want to hear it, and he's pretty adamant about it.
And that's where things take a turn, yeah.
Exactly. It's easy to forget online how quickly even small actions can blow up. And this is a perfect example. This one comment leads to a group calling themselves the LA Goons getting involved.
Okay, hold on. For those of us who aren't deep in the internet beef world, who are the LA Goons?
Good point. We got to make sure everyone's following along. So LA Goons in this situation implies some kind of affiliation with Kendrick Lamar and his crew. And that carries weight because of LA's reputation.
Because LA is often linked with gangs and street cred and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So it goes beyond just online talk. And it gets even heavier when someone claiming to be part of this group directly threatens Adin Ross.
Wait, seriously, what do they say?
They basically tell him not to come to Los Angeles if he knows what's good for him. The language is aggressive. It's meant to be intimidating, for sure.
Wow. So how seriously should we even take online threats like that? It's so easy to hide behind a screen name.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's easy to dismiss them as just talk, but then you factor in things like reputation, this group, and LA itself, and things get complicated.
For sure, it's not so black and white. But before we get into that, what about Aiden's response? How'd he react?
Oh, this is where it gets good. You gotta remember, Adin Ross has built a career on being provocative, this I do what I want kind of attitude.
So how does that work when he's facing a real threat? Does he back down?
Well, you'd think he might, but instead, he doubles down,
So he just ignores it, this threat that's clearly supposed to scare him.
basically. In the videos, you can hear clips of him on stream laughing it off.
Seriously?
Yeah, he says he lived in LA for years, no big deal, even implies he's got security so they can handle it.
Okay, so he's trying to act tough. But doesn't that kind of contradict the whole I'm not scared thing? Like, if you're really not scared, why bring up security?
Exactly. It's this weird thing where he wants to seem untouchable, but also acknowledges the danger. It's like he wants to have it both ways.
And that's where FaZe Banks comes in, right? For anyone who doesn't know, can you give us the rundown on him?
For sure. So FaZe Banks, huge name in the gaming world, known for being, let's just say, outspoken, a lot of influence, history of online feuds, that kind of thing.
Not exactly who you want around when things are heated. So what'd he do?
So FaZe Banks actually calls Adin while he's still alive.
Yeah.
And they're basically joking about the whole thing, like it's nothing.
Well, Aiden's got this supposed threat hanging over his head.
Yep. Almost like they're trying to one-up each other on who can seem more unbothered. And this is where it stops being funny.
Because it backfires.
Big time. Remember Smack, the guy who made the initial threat? He hears about them laughing it off.
Oh, this is bad.
It gets worse. Smack comes back with even more intense language, directly calling out both of them.
So it's personal now.
Totally. He's defending Kendrick, but also defending LA in a way. Talking about how it's a serious place, real consequences, all that.
It's not just online anymore. So after all that, what does Aiden do?
Well, he releases a statement trying to do damage control. Tries to walk back his comments a little.
What's he say?
So he says he was talking crazy, that LA is serious, even admits maybe he shouldn't have been so dismissive.
Okay, so taking some responsibility, is that it?
Not even close.
Yeah.
He also says he's not folding, meaning he's not backing down, and then, to make it even more confusing, throws in another jab at the people who threatened him.
So which is it? Is he apologizing or doubling down? It's so unclear.
That's the thing about this whole story, this pressure to keep up appearances online, even when things get real.
Like he created this persona he can't escape.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, at what point does that persona become more important than real life?
It's just, I don't know, kind of sad in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this constant pressure to project a certain image online can be really intense, even dangerous, like we're seeing here.
And LA's no stranger to this kind of thing, right? Where online feuds turn into real life violence.
Exactly. We can't ignore cases like Pop Smoke, Nipsey Hussle, PNB Rock, all victims of violence in Los Angeles.
Right, and it shows how this city that's often glamorized in music and movies has a very real, very dark side.
And it makes you think about Adin's situation. It all started with him just saying he didn't like a song.
And now he's caught up in this mess with real life consequences. It's a lot to process.
It really is. It highlights how important it is to be mindful of our words and actions online. You never know how things might escalate.
So, where do we go from here? What's the takeaway from all this?
For me, it's a reminder that online actions have real-world consequences. Words matter, even when they're typed behind a screen. We have to remember that.
It's also about being critical of what we see online, understanding that everyone is trying to project a certain image. So much of it is performative.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the drama, but we have to remember there are real people behind those screens.
Well said. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about.
Definitely. Navigating the online world requires caution, empathy, and a good dose of critical thinking.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. We've gone from a seemingly harmless music critique to some pretty heavy stuff.
From online personas to real-world violence. It's a complicated issue with no easy answers.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world around us.